Hello, my name is John Capobianco, and today I want to move my voice to agent and agent to voice from a CLI exercise, which has friction. It's not totally unusable, but it is CLI, into the web. Now we're going to be using Streamlit.io. Streamlit is my go-to whenever I need to do a web interface for my Python code. We can build on existing Python code and include new Streamlit libraries to achieve a lot of pretty cool things. In my case, receiving audio through the microphone and playing back the audio through my headset, but also giving me the text output so I can read along if I prefer to do a mix of voice for the question and reading the answer, or listening to the answer, or text for the input and listening to the audio. We have the waveforms as visuals. We have playback options, audio volume options, download options, clipping options. Lots of really neat stuff. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So I'm going to bring up my containers, and we're going to focus on the Streamlit code here. It's only 150 lines of code. One thing I did find was this Streamlit-advanced-audio, where I'm importing Audix to do some pretty advanced playback. Now, if you just look this up, you'll find this on the web pretty easily. And I do want to give a shout out to this project because it added quite a bit to my project. So if you find this discussion, this is where I found it. They're excited to share this and how to install it and how it all goes. Here's the GitHub repository, everyone. And let's make sure we give this a star. Okay? So, I have my containers up, my MCP for PyATS, my LangGraph agent, my A2A front end, and my Streamlit app, which now talks to the A2A front end. All right, now this gets really cool, where we're going to do auth. Okay, so here's the page, and we have to, and this is a public website, right? So let me, I'm visiting my Streamlit app, but the agent it's talking to is on the web through my Ngrok. So because I'm in Chrome and because I'm already authenticated as John, we can take this and paste it in. Now let me show you what that looks like in a different browser, because that sort of hid the auth mechanism. So let's go ahead and go to localhost, and let me just kill a bunch of stuff here. And we're going to do the same thing, but it's going to redirect me, and I'm going to fingerprint myself as my Gmail, take the link back, and now we've OAuth 2. And that isn't even the cool thing I wanted to show you, but that is really cool. All right, so watch this. Can you please help me understand the tools you have available to you as an artificial intelligence agent? So, 6 seconds of audio, I can play it back here. Can you please help me understand? I'm posting, and please be patient, because in the agent, the A2A has picked that up, right? My web adapter that's out on the internet listening and authenticated this session is handing off to my LangGraph agent, which is going to come back with an answer about, here's the breakdown of the tools I have. Now, right, the A2A agent's going to return this back to my Streamlit front end in just a second here. So let's keep that open and watch what happens. All right. And then we're going to listen to the audio. So it's pretty close to being done here. And we can see the Streamlit's up here still running. All right, so we just be patient. So here we go. And now, there's my audio waveform of the answer. I can do snippets. I can download the whole thing. I can change the speed. I can adjust the volume. And I hit play.
You asked, can you please help me understand the tools you have available to you as an artificial intelligence agent? Certainly. Here's a breakdown of the tools I have available, categorized by their purpose. Network automation tools. PyATS run show command. Executes show commands on Cisco iOS and XOS devices to gather operational state or specific information. PyATS configure device. Applies configuration commands to Cisco iOS and XOS devices to modify settings. PyATS show running config. Retrieves the full running configuration from a Cisco iOS and XOS device. PyATS show logging. Retrieves recent system logs from a Cisco iOS and XOS device. PyATS ping from network device. Executes a ping command on a Cisco iOS and XOS device to test network reachability. PyATS.
So We can do a lot more. I can drive the network and do network operations. So let's do that next. Let's start a new session and talk to it about network devices. All right, so here we go. So I'm just going to start a new browser session. And I'll do it in Chrome because I'm pre-authorized, right? So I'm going to take that link, paste it back, and say, can you please help me understand the routing table of device R1? The host name is capital R1. Please help me understand the routing table. Now I've got to stress the capital R and lowercase r. It really is case sensitive. I could adjust my testbed or my PyTS code, but for now it is case sensitive the way it works. So I want to reinforce that it's capital R1, otherwise the PyTS code will fail. So let's just see what happens here, right? So if we go to the PyTS here, there is the routing table. So it's gone ahead through that voice command and it ran the PyTS show run command. Right here, show run command, and it ran R1 show IP route. Here is the raw routing table, and here is the AI's explanation of said routing table. Now this is all being crunched into audio, and it's going to come back through the A2A adapter in a second, back into my browser, and we can listen to the explanation of the routing table.
You asked, can you please help me understand the routing table of device R1? The host name is capital R1. Please help me understand the routing table. Here's an explanation of the routing table for device R1. 1.1.1.0/24. Route 1.1.1.0. Status active. Source protocol connected C. Outgoing interface Ethernet 01. 1.1.1.1/32. Route 1.1.1.1/32. Status active.
All right, so you get the idea, right? So this is my new Streamlit agent to agent, human to agent, voice to agent, voice back from agent, with all kinds of neat accessibility issues. Now, I'm not trying to be facetious in any way. Imagine people that need just push to talk. If they're uncomfortable with the keyboard, if they're slow typers, if they're dyslexic, if they have learning disabilities, if they don't have the physical capabilities to type into a keyboard. The reverse is true. What if they can't read, or they have trouble reading, or reading poses a problem to them on the screen? Now we can play it back in audio. All right? This is accessibility using artificial intelligence to augment this rather simple Streamlit UI. We can push to talk, stop the push to talk, listen and push to answer and hear the audio, or a mix and match of reading the audio. 150 lines of code, very easily done. And I would like to maybe appeal to the A2A protocol people or MCP protocol. Let's keep accessibility in mind. Maybe build in, a voice to agent type system right into the protocol where we can stream voice and stream responses, WAV files or MP3 files or whatever. I'd like to see that built into this protocol to advance this sort of idea of accessibility. Now on my phone, it's not just about accessibility, it's about convenience. If I could push to talk on my phone, blah, 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 listen, and it just does the thing, all agentically, I think that brings us a lot closer to what people have in mind for artificial intelligence. Something like Star Trek, where we push to talk and the computer answers in a human voice. Thank you again for staying with me on this journey. More to come.